7 biblical bitter foods that repair aging digestion. Waking up with a heavy, sour stomach before your feet even touch the floor. Feeling bloated, swollen, and uncomfortably full after taking just a few small bites of dinner. Sluggish, unpredictable bowels that dictate your whole morning schedule and leave you feeling weighed down. A sharp, burning acid creeping back up into your throat the moment you lay your head on the pillow at night. You might sit at your kitchen table and tell yourself that this is simply what getting older feels like. You might think it is an inevitable tax on your vintage. You might reach for another pink chewable tablet from the plastic bottle sitting on your nightstand, or ask your doctor for an even stronger prescription pill to quiet the discomfort for a few hours. The modern world continually tells you to suppress the internal fire. It insists that your aging body is somehow broken, foolishly producing far too much acid, so it gives you a chemical switch to turn that acid off completely. Day after day. Year after year. Yet, despite all those neutralizing pills and powders, the bloating never truly disappears, does it? The deep physical fatigue only seems to deepen as the months go by, and quietly, without you even realizing it, your body begins to starve for the vital minerals locked inside your food. For many years, I have turned my heart towards studying how our ancestors lived, ate, and thrived in generations past. They did not have walls of plastic pharmacy bottles or synthetic acid blockers. What they had was creation. They lived in harmony with the soil, the seasons, and the quiet wisdom woven directly into the natural landscape. They understood a profoundly simple digestive secret that was carefully preserved throughout the pages of Holy Scripture. It is a basic biological truth that modern gastrointestinal science is only now, after decades of distraction, beginning to fully appreciate. Your digestive system was never meant to be suppressed or shut down with synthetic blockers. It was created to be gently awakened. And the primary natural key to that awakening is a taste that modern diets have completely forgotten: bitterness. Today we are going to walk step by step through 7 biblically rooted, time-honored bitter foods. These are foods designed by nature to revive an aging, sluggish gut. Foods that naturally restore your body's custom production of vital stomach acid. Foods that soothe painful trapped gas, release stagnant bile, and encourage smooth, comfortable movement through your intestines. I encourage you to stay with me all the way through to our number 1 remedy today. It is the single most potent bitter herb mentioned in ancient scripture. Yet, when prepared with care and precision, it holds the unique ability to seal and rebuild a damaged gut barrier from the inside out. Let us take a quiet breath, leave the noise of the modern world behind, and step back into the ancient pathways of health. Item 7. Wild chicory. If you turn to the book of Exodus, in chapter 12, verse 8, a specific instruction was given to the children of Israel. As they prepared for their journey out of bondages, they were commanded to eat their evening meal with specific bitter herbs. Among those wild greens gathered in the arid soils of the Levant was wild chicory. It grew untamed along dusty trade routes, pushing its pale blue flowers up through dry clay and rocky hillsides. It did not offer a sweet, sugary taste to the tongue. It tasted sharp, crisp, and unapologetically bitter. When a bitter compound like wild chicory touches the microscopic taste buds scattered across your tongue, something extraordinary occurs inside your nervous system. Your brain instantly receives a high-priority signal through the vagus nerve. Special receptors known as T2R bitter receptors fire off in a fraction of a second. This nervous system cascade commands the parietal cells inside your stomach lining to begin pumping fresh, clean hydrochloric acid. As we celebrate our 60s, 70s and beyond, our body's baseline production of internal stomach acid naturally drops by as much as 50%. When your stomach lacks sufficient acid, the protein from your chicken or eggs cannot be broken down efficiently. Instead of digesting smoothly, the trapped food sits in a warm, moist chamber and begins to ferment. That unnatural fermentation generates expanding pockets of gas, painful bloating, and sour fluid that bubbles upward. Wild chicory acts as a natural mechanical starter for a lazy stomach. It forces the gastric glands to produce the exact acid needed to break down heavy proteins before that food ever reaches your lower intestines. A study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry carefully analyzed the physiological impact of chicory root compounds. Researchers recorded an increase in upper digestive secretions exceeding 30% within minutes of contact with bitter chicory extracts. Furthermore, chicory root is deeply enriched with a natural soluble fiber called inulin. Inulin acts as a rich, nourishment-dense fertilizer for the beneficial microflora residing in the dark corners of your large intestine. It feeds the good bacteria so they can multiply and defend your intestinal wall against unwanted invaders. Before you begin, let us observe a necessary and wise caution. Because wild chicory strongly stimulates the contraction of the gallbladder to release stored bile, you must exercise care if you have active, painful gallstones. If your gallbladder is inflamed or blocked, consult your trusted medical professional before introducing concentrated bitter extracts. Here is your exact, simple daily protocol for wild chicory. Obtain pure roasted chicory root powder or dried wild chicory leaf from a reputable herb practitioner. Measure exactly 1/2 teaspoon into your favorite ceramic mug. Pour 8 ounces of freshly boiled water over the dark root. Allow it to steep quietly for 7 to 8 minutes, letting the rich amber color deepen. Drink this warm, earthy brew approximately 15 minutes before your largest meal of the day. You will feel a subtle, warming activation in your upper abdomen as your body prepares itself to digest your meal with total ease. Let us now move forward to our 6th biblical bitter remedy. Item 6. Raw unfiltered apple cider vinegar. In the book of Ruth, chapter 2, verse 14, we find a tender moment of hospitality in the middle of a golden barley field. Boaz looks upon Ruth working under the hot midday sun and offers her a simple, refreshing invitation to come sit with his workers and dip her dry bread into the vinegar bowl. In the ancient Near East, farm workers did not carry sweet soda or processed drinks into the sun-scorched fields. They carried small clay flasks filled with sour, fermented wine vinegar diluted with fresh spring water. They knew from generations of practical experience that sour, acidic liquids refreshed a weary body, quenched deep thirst, and kept the digestive fire steady through long hours of heavy labor. When natural fruit sugars undergo traditional, slow fermentation, beneficial bacteria convert those sugars into a potent compound called acetic acid. This gentle plant-derived acid closely matches the natural chemical balance of a young, healthy stomach. When seniors experience that familiar, burning sensation in the chest after eating, the modern world assumes there is a fire that needs to be doused. However, clinical gastroenterology demonstrates that most age-related heartburn is caused by the exact opposite problem, an absence of strong acid. At the top of your stomach sits a ring of muscle called the lower esophageal sphincter. This muscle functions like a one-way security valve. It is chemically programmed to clamp tightly shut only when it detects a high concentration of strong stomach acid below it. If your stomach acid is weak watery and insufficient, that valve remains loose and relaxed. The weak, fermenting stomach contents slosh upward into the delicate lining of your esophagus, causing that sharp, agonizing burn. Taking a daily dose of natural acetic acid lowers the internal pH of your stomach back down to where it belongs. The moment that acid concentration rises, the valve snaps tight, sealing the acid safely inside the stomach where it can go to work. A 2018 clinical trial published in digestive health literature monitored participants taking diluted acetic acid prior to complex meals. The researchers recorded a dramatic reduction in post-meal fullness, upper abdominal pressure, and acid reflux episodes. The natural acidity reactivated an enzyme called pepsin, which is responsible for slicing dense food proteins into small, easily absorbed amino acids. Now, let us protect your teeth with an essential caution. Never swallow raw apple cider vinegar directly from the measuring spoon without diluting it first. Undiluted vinegar carries a strong acidity that can slowly wear away tooth enamel over months of direct contact. It can also cause temporary discomfort to sensitive mucosal tissue in your throat. Here is the precise, safe daily routine to follow. Purchase a glass bottle of raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar that clearly shows the dark, cloudy web at the bottom known as the mother. This cloudy sediment is where the beneficial live enzymes and friendly acetic bacteria reside. Pour 1 tablespoon of this vinegar into 6 to 8 ounces of lukewarm or room temperature water. Stir gently with a spoon. Drink this golden tonic 10 to 15 minutes before your morning breakfast and evening dinner. To keep your tooth enamel entirely safe, drink the mixture through a simple silicone or paper straw, and rinse your mouth with a sip of plain water right after. Within just a few days, you will notice a quiet calmness in your chest after dining. Item 5. Dandelion greens to many modern homeowners. The bright yellow dandelion head popping up through a suburban lawn is treated as an unwanted weed to be eliminated with chemical sprays. Yet, for thousands of years throughout the ancient Mediterranean world, the humble dandelion was cherished as one of springtime's greatest gifts. Nomadic tribes and village elders searched the damp fields every spring to harvest its jagged green leaves as a vital bitter tonic after long, cold winters. Dandelion leaves are saturated with potent bitter principles, most notably a sesquiterpene lactone known as taraxacin. The moment taraxacin comes into contact with your tongue and stomach, it triggers a cascade of signals directly to your liver. Your liver is the heavy-working organ responsible for filtering your blood and manufacturing dark green bile. Bile is transported down into your gallbladder, where it is stored until you sit down to eat a meal containing natural fats, such as olive oil, butter, or meat. Bile functions precisely like natural organic dish soap inside your intestinal tract. It grabs onto large fat molecules, breaking them down into tiny microscopic droplets that your pancreas can easily digest and absorb. Without adequate bile flow, fat sits undigested in your upper intestine, creating heavy gas, nausea, greasy floating stools, and severe bloating. Bile also acts as your body's internal lubricant, keeping the stool moist, soft, and gliding smoothly through the colon. The International Journal of Molecular Sciences highlighted dandelion extracts in a comprehensive pharmacological review. The published data showed that compounds in dandelion significantly improved gastric emptying rates. This means it helps your stomach process its contents efficiently, preventing that uncomfortably heavy rock-in-the-stomach sensation that often lasts for hours after eating. Let us take note of a simple, practical caution. Dandelion possesses mild, natural diuretic properties, which is why ancient French herbalists called it pissenlit. If you currently take prescription water pills or blood pressure medications that alter your potassium levels, keep your medical team updated as you introduce dandelion to your weekly diet. Here is how to prepare dandelion greens in a delicious traditional manner. Gather or purchase 1 cup of fresh organic dandelion greens. Rinse them thoroughly in cold water to remove any field dust. Chop them into bite-sized pieces and place them in a warm skillet with 1 teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil and a minced clove of fresh garlic. Saute them on low heat for just 3 to 4 minutes until they wilt slightly, and sprinkle a small pinch of unrefined sea salt over the top. The healthy fat of the olive oil softens the sharp bitterness while delivering the bitter taraxacin directly to your liver. Serve this small emerald side dish alongside your lunch and enjoy the smooth, light energy that follows your meal. Item 4. Black seed oil. If you turn your Bible to the book of Isaiah, chapter 28, verse 27, you will find a fascinating passage regarding ancient agriculture. The prophet speaks of a tiny, pitch-black seed referred to in older translations as fitches, known today throughout the world as Nigella sativa, or black cumin. Isaiah notes that the farmer does not crush this small, delicate seed with a heavy threshing wheel. Instead, it is gently beaten out with a simple wooden staff, preserving its precious interior oils from destruction. When you taste pure black seed oil, you immediately experience a deep, complex flavor profile, rich, warm, woody, and distinctly bitter. The true healing secret of this ancient seed lies in its high concentration of a rare phytochemical called thymoquinone. Thymoquinone serves as an extraordinary natural coat of armor for the delicate mucosal lining of your digestive tract. As we journey through our senior years, the natural layer of protective mucus that shields our stomach lining from its own acids can begin to wear thin. Frequent use of over-the-counter pain relievers, daily stress, and low-grade inflammation can leave tiny raw spots along the gastric wall. Thymoquinone works like a cooling salve on an external burn, quieting micro-inflammation in the stomach tissue and relaxing muscular spasms in the intestinal walls. A double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical trial published in Phytotherapy Research examined the effect of black seed preparations on patients suffering from persistent upper abdominal pain and chronic indigestion. At the conclusion of the trial, over 80% of the participants receiving daily black seed reported complete relief from chronic nausea, painful gas, and upper belly tenderness. The active compounds helped seal small tissue irritations while calming the overactive, smooth muscle tissue of the gut. Here is an important health caution to consider. Black seed oil possesses mild blood thinning and blood pressure lowering properties. If you are currently taking prescription blood thinners or are scheduled for an upcoming surgical procedure, consult your physician before taking concentrated doses. Here is your exact daily restorative protocol for black seed oil. Obtain cold-pressed, solvent-free Nigella sativa oil in a dark glass bottle. Measure 1/2 teaspoon of the dark oil into a small spoon. Add 1 teaspoon of raw, unpasteurized honey to the spoon. The natural raw honey gently coats the back of your throat and balances the sharp, peppery bitterness of the oil. Swallow this rich mixture every morning upon waking, on an empty stomach, followed by a glass of warm water. It will form a soothing, protective shield across your entire digestive tract before you take your first bite of food for the day. Item 3. Bitter melon throughout the arid river basins and ancient oases of the Near East. wild climbing vines bearing bumpy, oblong fruit were carefully harvested by traditional healers. Among these bitter gourds, none carries a more legendary reputation than bitter melon, known botanically as Momordica carrantia. It is widely considered by botanical experts to be one of the most intense, powerfully bitter foods on the face of the earth. Its deep green skin is covered in raised ridges, and its flesh holds a sharp, clean, undeniable bitterness. When the concentrated bitter compounds of bitter melon reach the lower portion of your stomach and enter the upper small intestine, they trigger the release of a critical gut peptide called GLP-1. GLP-1 is a natural hormone produced by your own intestinal cells that slows down excessively rapid stomach emptying and signals your pancreas to release steady, balanced insulin. For many faith-focused seniors, sluggish, uncomfortable digestion goes hand in hand with fluctuating blood sugar levels after meals. When your body struggles to digest food efficiently, your blood sugar can spike dramatically 2 hours after eating, leaving you feeling sluggish, irritable, and exhausted. Bitter melon addresses both systems simultaneously. It stimulates the rapid release of pancreatic digestive enzymes while ensuring that carbohydrates are absorbed slowly and evenly into your bloodstream. A study published in the peer-reviewed journal BMC Complementary Medicine and Therapies thoroughly tested bitter gourd extracts in aging adults. The published findings confirmed that bitter melon compounds significantly enhanced the production of amylase and lipase, the primary enzymes needed to break down complex starches and fats. The participants experienced a notable reduction in post-meal fatigue and gas, alongside more stable daily blood glucose readings. Please observe this necessary caution. Because bitter melon is remarkably effective at supporting healthy blood sugar balance, you must monitor your glucose levels carefully if you take prescription diabetes medications such as insulin or metformin. Always work closely with your healthcare provider to ensure your blood sugar remains in a safe, healthy range. Here is how to prepare a gentle, soothing bitter melon tonic in your own kitchen. Select 1/2 of a fresh, firm, dark green bitter melon. Slice the gourd lengthwise and use a spoon to scoop out the white inner pith and hard seeds. Slice the firm green outer flesh into paper-thin ribbons. Place the ribbons into a small saucepan with 2 cups of pure filtered water and bring it to a gentle simmer for 10 minutes. Strain the warm, pale gold liquid into a cup, discarding the cooked pieces. Drink 4 ounces of this warm, bitter broth approximately 30 minutes before your afternoon lunch. You will find that your body handles complex carbohydrates with quiet, effortless stability throughout the afternoon. Item 2. Mustard seeds. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 13, verse 31, Jesus shared a memorable parable about a grain of mustard seed. He described it as a tiny, humble seed that a man took and sowed in his field, which eventually grew into a sprawling tree where birds came to rest in its branches. Beyond its profound spiritual lesson regarding the growth of God's kingdom, the mustard seed was revered throughout the ancient biblical world for its unique physical properties. Ancient Hebrew scholars and early physicians recognized that crushing these tiny, golden seeds released a powerful, warming energy that could awaken even the most stagnant, unresponsive digestive system. Mustard seeds are packed with unique sulfur-based compounds called glucosinolates. When a mustard seed is whole, these compounds lie dormant. However, the second the outer hull of the seed is cracked or crushed, an enzyme named myrosinase is immediately activated. This enzyme creates a sharp, warm, pungent compound that instantly stimulates the salivary glands in your mouth. True digestion does not begin in your stomach, It begins the moment food enters your mouth. Your saliva contains a vital enzyme called salivary amylase, which begins breaking down heavy starches while you are still chewing. By stimulating abundant, enzyme-rich saliva, mustard seeds kickstart the entire digestive chain reaction before you even swallow your first mouthful of food. Furthermore, mustard compounds stimulate the smooth muscular walls of your intestines, encouraging healthy peristalsis. Peristalsis is the rhythmic, wave-like muscular contraction that gently moves digesting food and waste along your multi-foot digestive canal. Research published in the World Journal of Gastroenterology examined the physiological effects of dietary mustard compounds on bowel motility. The study demonstrated that natural mustard compounds enhanced intestinal transit speed and reduced overall bowel transit time in individuals with sluggish, delayed elimination. It helps prevent old waste material from resting too long in the colon, where it can create toxic discomfort and heavy, trapped gas. Here is a short, sensible caution. Whole crushed mustard seeds carry a natural, spicy warmth. If you are currently experiencing active bleeding stomach ulcers or severe acute gastritis, wait until your stomach lining has healed before introducing spicy, warming seeds. Here is your daily digestion-boosting ritual using mustard seeds. Obtain organic, whole yellow or brown mustard seeds from your local market. Take 1/2 teaspoon of whole seeds and place them in a small wooden mortar and pestle, or simply crush them gently against a cutting board using the flat back of a heavy metal spoon. Swallow these cracked seeds with a full 8-ounce glass of warm water right before sitting down for your evening dinner. Do not chew them into a paste if you wish to avoid intense heat in your mouth. The seeds will open gently inside the warm environment of your stomach, releasing their native enzymes and encouraging smooth, natural movement through your lower digestive canal all night long. Now, let us examine our number 1 biblical bitter remedy for restoring gut integrity. Item 1. Absinthium wormwood throughout the Old Testament texts. From the books of Deuteronomy to the Lamentations of Jeremiah, the herb wormwood is referenced with deep reverence. In Proverbs chapter 5, verse 4, the writer speaks of a path that begins smoothly but ends in an experience as bitter as wormwood. Known in ancient Hebrew as la'ana, this silver-leafed desert plant grew along the arid hillsides of Judea. It was acknowledged across the ancient Mediterranean world as the undisputed king of medicinal bitter plants. Wormwood, known botanically as Artemisia absinthium, contains 2 extraordinary, highly concentrated bitter compounds, absinthin and anabsinthin. These 2 compounds are classified by natural product chemists as among the most powerfully bitter substances found anywhere in nature. When even a microscopic trace of wormwood tea touches the taste receptors on your tongue, your body executes an immediate, comprehensive digestive reboot. It triggers a rapid surge of every natural digestive fluid your body is capable of producing. Stomach acid production increases immediately. Your pancreas releases a rich cascade of digestive enzymes to process proteins, fats, and starches. Your liver doubles its output of bile, clearing out stagnation and heaviness. Most remarkably, modern cellular research shows that specific compounds in wormwood help repair the structural integrity of the intestinal lining. Along the inner wall of your intestines sits a delicate single-cell layer bound together by delicate protein structures known as tight junctions. When stress, poor diet, or aging damages these microscopic junctions, tiny gaps appear, allowing undigested food particles and endotoxins to leak into your bloodstream, a condition often called a leaky gut. Wormwood works at a cellular level to encourage the repair and tightening of these critical mucosal junctions, restoring the physical boundary of your gut shield. A major clinical study published in the peer-reviewed journal Phytomedicine evaluated the therapeutic effects of standardized wormwood preparations in patients suffering from severe chronic intestinal inflammation and mucosal damage. After 6 weeks of targeted wormwood therapy, researchers documented dramatic mucosal healing across the majority of study participants. Over 60% achieved total symptom remission, experiencing an absolute restoration of calm, painless digestive function without relying on harsh immunosuppressive drugs. Because wormwood is so exceptionally potent, we must observe a strict and mandatory caution. Wormwood contains a volatile oil compound called thujone, which should never be taken in high doses or used continuously for long periods. Limit your use of wormwood tea to a maximum of 3 to 4 consecutive weeks. After 4 weeks, take a mandatory 2-week break to allow your body to process the herbs cleanly. Avoid wormwood entirely if you are pregnant, nursing, or suffering from severe end-stage kidney conditions. Here is the exact daily restoration protocol for wormwood tea. Obtain high-quality, organic dried wormwood leaf from a certified botanical seller. Place exactly 1/4 teaspoon of the dried silver-green leaf into a tea infuser. Pour 8 ounces of freshly boiled water directly over the herb. Cover the cup with a small saucer to trap the beneficial steam, and allow it to steep for no longer than 2 to 3 minutes. Do not allow it to steep any longer, or the bitterness will become overwhelmingly strong and difficult to swallow. Remove the infuser promptly. Drink 3 to 4 ounces of this warm, clear broth approximately 20 minutes before your morning breakfast. Follow this gentle protocol once daily for 21 days straight. It will serve as a profound seasonal reset, sealing micro-irritations and restoring deep, peaceful quiet to your entire digestive canal. Our Heavenly Father created our physical bodies with incredible, inherent wisdom. Long before modern laboratories synthesized chemical digestive blockers, He planted natural healing medicines right in the fields, gardens, and valleys of the ancient world. Let us quietly recap these 7 biblically rooted bitter remedies so you can choose the right path for your body today. Number 7. Wild chicory tea to naturally jumpstart low stomach acid before heavy meals. Number 6. Raw apple cider vinegar in warm water to tighten the stomach valve and end acid reflux naturally. Number 5. Sorted dandelion greens to stimulate bile flow, clear the liver, and eliminate fat-related bloating. Number 4. Cold-pressed black seed oil mixed with raw honey to soothe and shield an inflamed stomach lining. Number 3. Bitter melon broth to balance pancreatic enzymes and keep blood sugar steady after eating. Number 2. Gently crushed mustard seeds taken before dinner to kickstart digestive saliva and speed up sluggish bowels. And number 1. Absinthium wormwood tea to seal tight junctions, repair a damaged gut wall, and reset your digestive system from top to bottom. You do not have to settle for living every day with heavy bloating, burning reflux, unpredictable bowels, and chronic physical fatigue. Take a gentle step back toward the ancient paths of creation. Select just one of these time-tested remedies to introduce to your daily routine this very week. Listen patiently to your body as it responds, heals, and finds its natural balance once again. Which of these 7 biblical bitter remedies will you try first? Please share your thoughts and personal stories in the comments section right below this video. If this message brought comfort and clarity to your heart today, share it with a friend, a neighbor, or a loved one who might be seeking gentle relief. God bless you, keep you in His peace, and we will see you in the next video.